Hey y'all, this is Cindy. I'm the tireless tangler, and this is the second video in our new Tangle Time series. Thank you so much for being with me today. Our tangle is going to be Camber. It is by my friend Donna Stanchfield, and we are not going to be using a formal string today. This is what Camber looks like. It can be a focal point tangle, or as you see here, it can be part of a grid tangle, or if you put these in a line, it can be a ribbon tangle. So let's see how it's done. Not that you can't figure it out from looking at it, but let's see what we can do today, okay? All right, so for demonstration purposes today, I'm going to use this small bijou tile, 2 inches by 2 inches, and I have penciled in a border around here, straightish border, and put a square grid in here with pencil. Now you can draw this with ink if you like. I loved Linda Farmer's version of this. Linda Farmer is the CZT that runs tanglepatterns.com, and I loved her example of this in the 4 square grid, so I thought it would be great to show you guys how to draw it. So I'm just putting a tiny little pencil mark at the midpoint of each one of these, and if you can eyeball that and not get confused, then you don't have to put that. It's not necessary. But the way that you want to do camber is, and camber means, the word camber means just a slight inclination or a slight curve, a slightly convex line, or a little bit of an arch. So we just want a little bit of a curve. Okay? And so I did that from the midpoint at the top of the square to the midpoint on the side. All right? See if I can get better light in here. And now I'm going to want to repeat this shape from the midpoint at the bottom to the midpoint on the other side. All right? And just, don't get the curves too much. Just give them their space. And now we're going to turn the tile 90 degrees, and we're going to repeat that. And we're going to make them the same curve, okay? The same exact way. Slight curve up. Slight curve up. So when we finish, we have something that looks like this. And Donna tends, in her step out art, Donna tends to have the, are these the convex sides? The ones that curve inwards, she tends to have on the bottom, and then the outward curving ones curving out towards the top. But, do how you like. Now the next step is to choose one of these curved sides and draw some aura lines in there, and you can adjust how wide or narrow you make them. Just try to get them consistent, which of course is my struggle. So we're going to see how I do today. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to try to match the curve of that camber line. Well, that wasn't what I hoped, but it's going to be all right. So we are adding 3 auras, okay? So it's 4 lines, including the outside line. Now, here is where you might get tricked up. You're not going to turn the tile and keep going, okay? This is where we're at. And what we're going to do is now draw these lines down on the opposite side. So this way. Taking your time and focusing on each stroke of the pen. And then you're going to turn your tile, and we're going to connect these. Slightly curved line, which is less noticeable in this short area. But this is the Tangle Camber. Now you might think, so what, or whatever. Shading is a big deal on this. What you're going to want to do is shade darkly at each end And then lighten your pressure as you get further from the line. You're going to leave a little bit of a sparkle in there, okay? And this is what's going to make this dynamic. You're going to start deep on the line and lighten your pressure. Deep on the line, lighten your pressure. And if you have one of those Tombow Mono Zeros or maybe a kneaded eraser, then that can be helpful if you get too much graphite towards the middle. It's a learning curve, learning to lighten the pressure as you stroke the graphite on. Sometimes I'm more successful than others. Something like this. And of course, I like to make my shading nice and dark, but you may do yours as you wish, of course. If you prefer to have yours a little bit less dynamic as far as the shading goes, there's nothing wrong with that. Dark shading isn't for everyone, that's okay. But however dark you're going to shade, you want the deepest, darkest color down on the lines. And then lighten the pressure as you get towards the center, okay? So let me zoom in a little bit. And this is basically what we've got, okay, without blending it or anything like that. And again, if you have a kneaded eraser or a Mono Zero or, you know, whatever eraser you've got and you want to lighten up your highlight, that's cool. This is the Tangle completely, okay? So what kinds of things can you do with this? Well, let's look. Well, here's a tile I did. Let me zoom back out. Here's a tile I did earlier today, and I was sort of playing with putting Camber in a more squared off version and doing a sort of a wavy line sort of a thing with it, and I didn't feel it was as dynamic as it is in this form, but you know, that's me. All right, so if you wanted to put this in a square grid, and that's your plan, then you would just, again, and you want to preferably match what you've got, but maybe then you don't, right? Remember, match. I didn't get very curved, but match. So curve out, curve in, right? And then you put that like that, and there you've got your square grid. Yes? Okay, so let's see what we can do with this on our tile today. I did want to point out that this could be put side by side with the tips touching for a border, which might be a really cool thing to do. We could make it a focal point and do some tangling inside and around it. So let's figure out what we're going to do. Today I'm going to use my black PN, and I'm going to use a gray toned tile by Zentangle, and this is 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches. Okay, I'm going to draw in my borders, and normally you put a dot in each corner and aim for the dot. I tend to have trouble getting my dots in the right place, so I like to just draw my border straight on the tile. Let me zoom out just a little bit more. So I've got pencil erasings here. Another reason not to use black, I guess. There we go. There. Very good. Okay. I'll be honest with you. I had planned to maybe do... Okay, I'm sort of changing my mind now. Let's do that. Let's do something fun. Let's use the shape of the tangle as our string today, okay? This is not one that's on Tangle Patterns. I wasn't going to use a string, and it just occurred to me that we could do something really fun with this. And so I'm going to go ahead and draw this shape in midpoint to midpoint. Let's see if I can get my midpoints in the same place. All right, so I'm going to curve up, yeah, and then match that here. Let me go a little darker. Remember, it's just a slight curve, right? Can't see this one at all. Is that better? A little bit? Okay. And now we're going to turn the tile 90 degrees and we're going to do the same thing, okay? Up, curve, up, curve, okay? And now we're going to have these outward curves towards the top, if that's what you want, or you can turn it upside down and make this your top. You can do it, you know, whatever way you want. You could potentially, you know, have a fan going on there, which is actually an interesting thought too. So what I was thinking was that I might want to put a small tangle of some kind in the center. And so what I wanted to figure out was how much room I would have, because I would like to arrange some overlap. So let me stop explaining and see if I can show you what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to breathe and take my time and try to keep this at a comfortable angle. Okay. Now, clearly I'm not going to have overlap like that, but then I'm going to turn my tile 90 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and draw in this line. All right, now here's where I'm going to follow this down with my aura lines, okay? So at this point, what I'm going to do is I don't need to draw these in, but I want to get an idea of where this is going to end. So this is about approximately where this is going to end, okay? And so that's going to be approximately where this is going to end, maybe in a little closer. And it doesn't have to be exact. It's just a idea. And that's about where we would be on the bottom. Okay. So I will have this area that I have sectioned off to tangle inside. And the reason I'm doing that in pencil is because what I want to do is I'm thinking I want to do an organic pattern like flux in here, or poke root, poke leaf, any other organic tangle that you would like to use in here, but I really like flux and I always have good luck with it, so hopefully today will not be any different. And I thought I would draw in my flux first so that I could sometimes have a little leaf overlap my line, and then I will draw in my aura lines behind any little bits of flux that comes out of there, okay? Hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully you can see the penciled lines here. So let me draw in some flux here and show you what I mean. Okay, so right here, this has nudged in on this aura line. Okay, so I'm going to add in some more. We're just going to put some fun little flirty entrances into this area. We don't want to encroach too much. Those of you that did Project Pack 9, where we did the little sections that we put on the mandala or zendalas, it's something to that effect. And any of those tangles that you used in that project would be perfect for using in this. Okay, so I'm just making these little leafy sort of flux shapes. I'm going to fit them in wherever I think they should go. Even if I want to draw them behind, that's okay. And the direction of that line that goes in the center really helps a lot with your visual cues. It tells the brain, oh, look, I'm doing the same thing as them, but I'm back here. Maybe I don't need to talk while I do this. Okay. So in this manner, I'm going to fill this up. And then I will draw in my aura lines. So let me keep going here. Well, that one wanted to come visit. Let's have some fun. Looks is such a relaxing pattern, and I just cannot get over how good it always looks, no matter what you do to it. Let's come over here. I'll make that happen. Whoops, sorry. Okay. Put a little orb there. And work our way back up in here. And I'm just encroaching ever so little. I mean, not really very much at all. And I'm going to wait to fill that in until I draw in my aura lines. And, okay. I'm sort of pointing towards what I'm doing on the outer edges so I can go in there then and finish my tangling. And you know, you can make your little teardrop shapes do just about anything you want them to. And again, the shape of that center line right there will tell the eye what that leaf is supposed to be doing. You know, and in my case, they could be having a party. They're definitely visiting. And when you have little spaces, just pop a little orb in there like we always do. Just like we did on poke root and poke leaf, the last video. And I do apologize for this video being so late. We had thunderstorms coming up from the hurricanes or the tropical storms they've got going on in the Gulf of Mexico. And that causes severe weather to happen up here. And we had power outages and thunder and that kind of stuff going on last night. So I was not able to get finished with everything, and so I sort of started over today. And I really apologize for that. Then today, you guys probably don't care, but I'll tell you anyway. Some of you do. Some of you I know you do because you're so nice. But then today we had sort of a milestone in our adoption case. Mari is now in his trial adoption period with me. So that means we are just, you know, it's just a short amount of time. So it's exciting. I signed all of my adoption paperwork today, and now we need a court date, and this thing will be done. So it probably will go pretty quickly. And yeah, pretty exciting, but that took up a big chunk of time today. So I really apologize. You guys got shortchanged, but I have been waiting for this and fighting for this for so long. I'm a little bit numb, quite frankly, because I don't know how to feel. Okay, now let's talk about negative space and whether or not I want to completely fill this or just use my little flirty edges and draw in my auras and then let this stand. And I'm sort of leaning towards letting this stand, just cleaning up. And you know, adding some little finishing touches and this kind of thing. But I really like where this is. Now I'm going to finish drawing in my lines, okay? So here, let's take my time, try to get these pretty consistent. And 2. And 3. So I just flirted with that edge just a little bit, and that's okay. And I think I'm going to go ahead and ink on the insides here, like that. And so this is what I mean. And this is why I drew it in pencil, so I'd have the ability to judge how far out that was going to come and where I needed to stop. All right, so let's do the next one. I love the simplicity of this pattern, and I love the options it gives you. I loved the square grid version, like I said, that Linda Farmer had. And that's almost what I did today. But when I thought of this and thought of some flux bursting out of the middle of that, I thought that would be a really nice touch. 1, 2, 3, that's it. And now the bottom ones. Well, I'm gonna have to make that a little bit bigger. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to add some. What do you guys think? I could add some R lines, but that wouldn't be any fun. So I did get some encroachment here and some encroachment here, not so much down here. So let's see what I can do here. I can add a few. One reason I like flux is because it goes in all the tiny spaces that you need and still looks awesome. And do I want another small one? Those usually don't work too well. I usually end up blacking it in or orbing it. All right. And then, let's see. Put this in here and ink. I think the inking is going to be important to keep this dynamic. Well, so much for my pencil lines, huh? I should have just winged it. If that's an actual word, I don't know, but it is now. Means I just made it up as I went. All right, add some orbs. And we'll put another one in here. And we'll put this in here. Can't really get much in there as far as, can't really do anything going into this area. So I may draw close to or on that line, but not over it. Well, at least that's the goal, is to not draw over it. I'm just going to pop Jelly Roll in there anyway. And let's do, Yeah, this will work okay. These don't have to be large. They can be small too. Just fit them in how you want. So you see, I met with varying degrees of success with my trial, but you know, I still got what I wanted, which was some organic stuff in the middle of this. So, all right, so this is where I'm at. I've got my lines, so I'm going to shade now. See what we end up with. I am going to use my Prismacolor Verithin in black. It likes to hide in the bottom of my bag, so let me pull it out. There. All right, so I'm going to start shading this, and I'm going to start with my larger element. I'm going to do my deepest shading right along the line. Then I'm going to gradually decrease the pressure I'm using until I fade it out. Okay? And this is pretty large, so we probably won't go too far in. Let's give this the same treatment over here. I didn't get very deep on this one. Let me sharpen my pencil real quick. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Now remember, I like my shades dark, like I was saying in the step out. And, you know, you do as you want. And let's see how this is going to look. When I do these and I'm trying to work them into the middle, I start at the outside and work my way back towards the color. Okay. And not like that. And I probably will add some, almost certainly add some more. What I like to call shading runs. Okay, I don't know if that's my term or not, but that's the one I use. So really dark by the line and lighten your pressure as you go. Okay. Yep. Remember, whether you're shading with graphite or colored pencil, remember to turn your pencil as you're applying it so that your sharpest point is always down. All right, let's do this one. Well, I hope you're relaxing. I think I finally am relaxing. I have been stressed and busy today. I really do apologize about the storms and everything, but you know, this is hurricane season, and we are affected by that because we aren't too far away from the Gulf of Mexico where we are, and when they have storms down there, the weather patterns that are shifted by the storms travel here and become thunderstorms and tornadoes and that kind of thing. So we had flooding and power outages and lightning and thunder and that kind of thing. I don't think we had any tornadoes last night, which is good because it's September and we usually have most of those in the spring. but it does happen in September that we have tornadoes, so that's sort of something the state is known for. The National Weather Labs are here in about 30 minutes from where I live. It's in the town I grew up in Norman, Oklahoma. We make the best meteorologists here. All right. And remember, I can blend these with my, well, in this case, it's a paper stump. Okay. So if you watched me during the 100 Days project, then you know how much fun a tan tile or a gray tile can or a tan tile can be, because you can use your white charcoal pencil for highlighting in addition to your graphite pencil for shading, and that really bumps you up in intensity a lot, which is awesome, and I love that. Okay, so I really like this. I still want to, gotta get this smoothed out here. I am going to take some of this stray extra stuff down here and sort of clean that line up. And not a big deal, but there, much better. I like that to be clean. Now, shame on me. That is not traditional Zentangle, so forgive me for that. Okay, so I've got this shaded. Let me zoom out. Got this shaded fairly well, and again, I will probably darken that even more. But let me now take my charcoal pencil, if I can find it. There it is. I'm going to take my white charcoal pencil and come in here in the middle of these and stroke on some highlight. Just going to be really careful with it and carefully blend it into the shaded portions. Okay, look what a difference that makes. It looks like it shines. So I'm going to do this on all of these. And I didn't forget to shade my flux. I'm still going to do that. Okay. So you just sort of, and in the same way, lighten the pressure as you get into the darker areas. This is going to be gorgeous when we get done. I will have to hit Donna up on Facebook and let her know that we did her pattern. I think this is her first one. So kudos, Donna. This is a good one. I really like the highlighting opportunities this tan or gray tile. I'll never want to call it gray. I'll never ever want to call it gray, but it is gray. It's a gray tile. And they really do like the white charcoal pencil. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is quickly shade in here. Well, not quickly. We're not in a hurry. I'm in a hurry, but y'all aren't. Not going to be in a hurry, Cindy. We're going to relax. Shading is part of the process, and What I want to challenge us all to do, and myself included, is to look at each part from string to ink to shading, from breathing and slowing down to gratitude and appreciation of our work and our materials, the time we have to draw. This entire experience should be calming and freeing, and a time when you can let your creativity flow and do what you want with your tiles. If you want to do what I've done, hopefully it's something you can replicate. And if you want to do your own thing, I want you to do your own thing. I encourage you to go to tanglepatterns.com, look at the step out art that Donna did, and look at Linda Farmer's example that she has on her website that she drew, and really look at those and see what appeals to you. There is one that Donna has on there that is sort of a radial version of this, where she has them touching side to side, corner to corner, around a circle in a sort of a mandala style. And so it's really cool. So you should check that out. And even though we didn't use one of the Tangle Pattern strings today, we will be continuing to use those. Strings are something that are challenging for me. And even though in some ways they are simple, because you just choose a tangle to put in there. But, you know, when you get to a certain point, then you want, well, how do I choose tangles that work well together? Well, you know, and then we're talking about whether a tangle is organic or not. I don't know, non-organic. What do you call the other kind? Flux here is organic. You can see it grows on itself. This would not be organic unless you put it in some sort of a freeform grid or something like that, in which case that might be fun. Like I showed you guys my earlier tile, I did experiment with putting these, you know, in a row, and it wasn't my favorite version of this. I really like using this as a focal point a lot. I think this will make a nice frame for lots of things, and it's so fun in that square grid. So let me put my chop on. I think I will do that right here. It got kind of large. That's okay. It's my art. I can do it if I want to. This is my mantra. And I'm going to leave that unblack inked because, you know, it sort of fits with this. So the only other thing I might do is redefine my line going around this to sort of set it off. And if you wanted to tangle around the edges, you could. I can add, you know, little zingers and fescues coming out, or even add some more flux. You know, tuck it in here, have it poke out here and there. It might be a fun finish to this. So this is where I'm going to leave you guys today. Anything extra I will upload for members. If there's not anything extra, then I won't upload anything. And thank you guys for being with me today. I am going to see you hopefully tomorrow. Keep watching for them. If I miss a day, don't worry about it too much. It's going to be okay. I'm right now dealing with school and adoption and all of these different things, and you know, work is getting in the way. So hang in there with me, and we are going to have a fun time. Thank you so much, and I'm going to see you guys next time. Don't forget, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you are not subscribed to this channel and you find value in it, please feel free to subscribe. And if you're interested in channel memberships, there is a link in the description below. Thank you guys, and I'll see you soon.